3, 2, 1. Article 17 was never put into place democratically. The original Bangladeshi constitution was never ratified democratically and was put into place by a military government, the Mukti Bahini, immediately after coming into power, which immediately devolved into dictatorships. Note then that this same constitution, this same article was then upheld by 3 different dictatorships who then individually used it to be able to justify their undemocratic governance. Note the second thing. Individual laws don't matter, but systems of laws do. Insofar as people do not consent to individual articles, they consent into systems of laws which gives them democracy. I think that this law, therefore, not only was inherently undemocratic, insofar as it was part of a system which people did not consent to, but the law itself is undemocratic in 2 ways. A, I think it violates individual constituencies if they're able to vote in the way that they would want to. I think that Bangladesh is a very diverse country, and we'll get into this later. But generally speaking, MPs are upheld by their constituents first in a world where Article 70 isn't put into place, insofar as they want to be elected for a second term. Note that in a world where Article 70 continues to exist, that the interests of constituents no longer matter, and simply the interests of the wider political party matter. Note that this is important because, sure, individuals might vote for a political party, but the fact of the matter is, you don't vote for every single policy of a political party. You vote for the wider platform, and in many instances, you're going to disagree with the party line, and with that, you're going to go to your MP to tell them that you want them to vote a certain way. Insofar as that doesn't happen, I think that it's inherently undemocratic. But secondly, I think it allows for political consolidation in a way which leads to democratic backsliding. Insofar as in the context of BNP getting a majority or super majority, and they were able to, let's say, change laws to be able to make things undemocratic, I think there are many people within the BNP, particularly the more young and idealistic, think that BNP conceded to make themselves look more popular and hip, would probably oppose stuff like this. There's an accountability mechanism which does not exist in the world where Article 70 continues to exist, insofar as these individuals will be immediately kicked out of impeachment, which allows a political party with a majority to essentially run rampant because their own MPs cannot hold the party accountable, and it was only accountable to the Prime Minister and to the leader of the party. Second, I think that people inevitably consent to the interim government's actions. Insofar as the interim government is probably the most popular government that people have. If you go to popular government we've ever had, if you go to Facebook, if you ask any person, they want the interim government to stay longer even if it's kind of undemocratic. And moreover, I think that people overwhelmingly have supported this government so far in ratifying it or changing the constitution, taking the constitution down, ripping it to pieces, etc., etc. It's unclear why this matters here. And third, I think the alternative of political parties passing this policy is incredibly far-fetched for a couple of reasons. I think that the vast majority of the population, when explain this policy, would probably be in favor of it. But even if it were, political parties would never put it into place insofar as it's antithetical to their own interests. But moreover, I think that in a situation where the interim government put this into place, that political parties would not be able to repeal it in the future. Because I think it's unlikely for anybody to get a 3/5 majority within parliament in the next couple of decades. But moreover, I think that constituents that are thinking about rebelling against their own parties would probably not vote for this. And given that you need this as a prerequisite to happen, I don't think that happens. But moreover, I think that generally when the political precedent has been set of a constitutional amendment existing to be able to uphold democracy, that a political party trying to repeal it after the fact will be political suicide. With that, on course, the second argument about why there's less political polarization and why that's so important. I disagree with the general framing for Bangladesh. Insofar as I think there is immediate political fracture that is going to happen in Bangladesh. Insofar as there are 3 large political factions, the NCP, Jamaat and BNP, all of them have completely different political platforms, along with several smaller splinter parties from the BNP and the NCP, along with things like leftist political parties and the remnants of Ahmed. There's likely not going to be one single political party that's going to have a majority moving forward. Sure, BNP might have a majority in the immediate election, but moving forward that's probably not going to be true as soon as NCP is able to consolidate something. I think in that way, I think passing policies is going to require cross-party cooperation, and political parties without this won't want to cooperate and actually come to teams for a couple of reasons. I think that they don't want other political parties to get credit for passing policies, and so won't support specific political parties when they want to do something. This is amplified by the fact that a lot of policies have specific ideological ties to them. Insofar as political laws that are about liberalization are probably going to be tied to BNP and spearheaded by BNP. A law that is about, let's say, students' rights is probably going to be spearheaded by NCP and is not going to be wanted to be supported by other political parties. I think that you need individual MPs to cross force to pass these types of policies. Why is it that then they want to go against their party? Clashing against party. I think constituents might still generally disagree with their major political parties. Why? Because all 3 major political parties have to some capacity incredibly large and populistic platforms. Jamaat wants to appeal to Islamists everywhere, that's from every class and every single background. BNP is a general political party that appeals to the old, and NCP is a political party that appeals to the young, no matter what political platform you come from. What that means is across the country, which by the way, there are 170 million people from all different economic backgrounds, and if there's going to be a huge amount of disparity between what people want, it's important for the government that there's going to be disagreement, there's going to have be situations where there's opinion, and it's going to be important for the government to function. Second, I think in terms of public perception, before moving on, I'll get your closing actually.
If the party knows that people have the ability to vote a policy, they are going to be hyper-selective about the people that they do nominate, so diversity within the parliament just goes to shit.
Okay, sure, they might have that incentive, but at the same time, there's a very, very important counter. It is that I think that most parties want to be able to win elections. Oftentimes, especially in areas which they have a very young constituent base, and they would want to put in somebody who is younger, even if you're in BNP, even if that means that they are less loyal to the party, if that means that the NCP doesn't win. Overall, on that, they would rather want a rebellious member of their own party to constituencies over somebody of another party. Finally, I think that there's a huge impact on political public perception. I think on framing, there's huge political polarization in Bangladesh, insofar as there's inherent. The three parties are inherently politically opposed. Part of this is artificially manufactured by parties, but also it's inherent. The NCP is progressive, Jamaat is Islamist, NCP is new, BNP is old, Jamaat are extremist, BNP is modern. People will see NP's effect and will probably believe that other parties are not so bad and or aren't people who are terrible. Because not everyone, you're going to have this perception that not everybody on the other side is bad or inherently disagrees with you. At the point where there are other members of the political party that now agree with you. But moreover, there is this perception that everybody on the other side is inherently malicious. They are trying to stop the government from functioning for their own political gain. They are trying to make sure that this policy doesn't pass simply for their own political gain. And moreover, there will be a more general perception that political parties are generally legitimate. I think that a lot of us view political parties as being inherently monolithic. That there are one type of person, there are one type of people, they're all bad, they're all good, etc., etc. Which of course is incredibly unhealthy. Whereas as far as political accountability, is where things like identity politics happen, where you solidify which party you vote for based on your own identity. At the point where this is no longer the case, because there are MPs defecting, where you begin to see on news media, there are MPs that have different opinions to the ones disparaged by the larger political party line. There are going to be situations where you're going to be able to reach out to other political parties and see with them eye to eye to go, which is going to hugely reduce things like political violence and the ability to form coalition governments in the future. With that, so proud to propose.
All right, I thank the DPM for